Hi everyone, it's Tony Tonkin here from Wise, Witty and Weird. Glad that you could be with me. Look, I understand no one watches this channel and that's fair enough. But I tell you what, I kind of enjoy thinking about the stuff that I'm going to put together on here. And look, one day somebody might get enthusiastic enough to say, well, it's worth watching, you know? When that day comes, I will let you all know because it will be interesting. But I don't care. The reason why I do this channel and occasionally with Avery is clearly because I'm bored and don't have anything else to do with my time. And I kind of like, it's kind of fun wrestling with the technology and trying things that are a wee bit different here on Wise, Witty and Weird. But one of the things that I do, which I really enjoy, is having a look at right-wing media and seeing what they're saying and how stupid they actually are. Now, I'm supposed to have this philosophy whereby I don't want to buy into saying things about other people that perhaps I wouldn't like them to say about me. But to be honest, I wouldn't care if they called me stupid or a moron or name called me in any way, because I don't think anything they say, that is the right wing, is of particular interest to me. So does that give me therefore a license to call them stupid? Probably not. But am I going to break that rule? Yes, I am, because they are. And I do tend to watch right-wing stuff because I like to know what it is that both sides are thinking, and I kind of try and take. So I was watching something the other day which indicated to me that that was something actually that was it Paul Murray or some guy on Fox News anyway. I think it might have been Bolt. So Bolt said something that I actually agreed with in terms of the coronavirus in Victoria. And I found myself surprised and elated to think that there was something that at least Bolt and I could agree on. So it isn't like they say all stupid stuff. It's like they can't let certain things go. And one of the things that they can't let go is Barack Obama. You know, I think it does stick in their craw a little bit that the right wing were able to not prevent Obama from becoming president, and that he's relatively intelligent, which I guess surprises a lot of the right wing because to some extent they aren't, as is evidenced by the type of people that Fox News has on their channel. So they're always trying to find something. You know, you've got to look really close at the nitty gritty stuff to understand that there are elements of everybody that are faults. You know, it's like Cory Bernardi and Jones and Bolt and Murray and some of these odd people they have on their show don't have any faults whatsoever. They are depicted as the perfect human beings, that there is nothing that they would do or say that needs to be criticised. There is nothing that they do or say that perhaps might even be incorrect. So this is, I think, how they view themselves, because we don't, unfortunately, here in Australia, we don't have all that much criticism of the right. We have lots of criticism from the right of the left. And that's another issue, because I think it's about time the left started to fight back with a little bit more guts and determination than what they tend to do. And we hear this in the US too, where the Democrats don't tend to fight in the same sort of way as the Republicans. I'm not suggesting that we should get dirty. I'm not suggesting that we should accept QAnon basic theories, or that we should look for scandals in everything. But this is what the right does. But I think there are different ways of doing it. I think that standing back at this point and having a go at the right wing, as I'm doing today, is one of those ways. And it isn't about the fact that I have to disagree with everything that I say. It's just that they have so many morons on that it's hard not to find stuff that you can't. Well, it's hard to find stuff that you can agree with to start with. But they offer you plenty of fodder to dissect some of the crazy things that they say. So here we have Paul Murray wanting to criticise Obama. So Obama goes on CNN with Anderson Cooper, and he has this interview, of which I've watched some of, incidentally, and which is not the way they have interpreted it when they're talking about. So they're talking about culture wars, and so they picked a segment where Obama makes a statement about and reflects on the culture wars and particularly, I guess, about the cancel culture and how that has impacted the United States. And he's reflecting back on what his daughters have told him. And it's a reasonable reflection, I think. And we must remember that Obama could have got a lot more done in the US had he had more bipartisan support. And the Republicans had declared, as they have now with Biden, it doesn't matter what they put forward, they're not going to support it because these bastards are only there for the power. That's the only thing they're interested in. They're not interested in helping others. They're not interested in making life better for those that are struggling. In fact, they're the last people that they would ever consider. So they're interested in staying in power. These guys in the media are interested in stirring up stuff so that the people that they're supporting, which is these people that just want power, get to have their voice and get to just maintain their power within the structure, within the political system, I guess. So I think it's really important to confront these bastards and to tell them, even though I don't have anybody watching my channel, it's me airing my stuff and how I feel. And I think to some extent, I guess I believe that's relatively important to be able to say what you think and how you feel. So here we have, it's only a 3-minute segment, but it is about Paul Murray and Cory Bernardi talking about Obama, and we'll sort of we'll analyse it, we'll critique it, and you can view it, and you can make up your own mind, I guess. And if you want, you can have a conversation with me about it, because that'd be really, really nice. So here we go. I just have to say, this man is so much full of shit. Seriously, like you can imagine Obama sitting down, watching, focusing on Fox, on the Australian version of Fox News, and listening to their podcast. What sort of arrogant bastard thinks that this is exactly what Obama's doing? Now, my guess is that Paul Murray is joking about this. But if he isn't, he is a narcissistic, crazy person, because Obama would have far more interesting things to do, I would suspect, than to listen to the crap that Paul Murray spouts. But anyway, let's see what other garbage he spouts. Now, I think that what what Obama says there is more than reasonable, and I certainly I certainly agree with his sentiment that you can't say things that are cruel and designed to hurt somebody, whether it be the cancel culture or whatever it is that you're arguing. You still don't do and say things that are going to damage other people. That is quite reasonable. However, these guys completely overlooked that. It was like that didn't matter to them. They didn't care. In fact, I don't even think that they heard what he had to say. So I think he brings in Cory Bernardi here, which is I don't know how to describe Cory and be kind. Speaking of cancel culture, look, I'm sure most of you who know of Cory have probably got your own version of him. I'll let you work with that because my version is probably not all that kind. So let's continue. I just have to dive in and say everything Cory said there is false. He if he see if Cory had watched this interview, he would know that Obama addressed that issue, and he said it didn't matter what he did. He showed an example actually where someone I don't know if they were killed or assaulted, someone in politics, and they were black, and he defended the black guy, the African American guy, over what had happened, and his popularity when he did that, his popularity plummeted by 22% or something, some incredible amount. And he learned, that was early in his presidency, so he learned that he can't say things that have a racial tone to them because that would diminish his popularity. Now, if you want to stay in politics, if you want to stay in as president and serve a second term, I guess they're things that you've got to watch out for, unfortunately, but they are. So Cory has not even seen the interview, which is kind of funny because earlier today I was watching Jimmy Kimmel, and they go out and they interviewed a bunch of people about Meghan and Harry, the birth of the new royal, and they asked them whether they had seen it on TikTok or something, or Instagram or something. And of course, it wasn't on TikTok, like the actual birth. And people jumped in and they said yes, they had. And then they'd asked them, well, what did you think of the Queen telling Meghan that she also was pregnant? And do you think that was a kind thing to do at a time when you have these people that say, well, if the Queen thinks she's pregnant, well, so be it. Not knowing that the Queen is who she is and that she's 99 years of age, and that her partner has died. Apart from that, from which one could develop some sort of humorous response, people made out they had seen this thing. And I think what an incredible, quirky human quality that is, to make out you've seen something that you haven't seen. And so that just reminded me, when Cory was talking about this stuff here, that he hasn't seen the interview either, and yet is here as this kind of expert on it. So I think he fascinates me, this man, and to think that he gets work and works for someone like Sky News just blows me away. But there again, he fits the category, he fits the sort of image that they want, I guess, which is right-wing lunacy. So he goes on further to say, evaluating this man who just had all these issues around race. Of course he did, he was black. Like, stupid man. Anyway, here we go. I just need to say that clearly Murray doesn't believe for a moment that they sit down and watch his show. At least it's making light of it, I guess. But to think that he might think that they're watching his show, I don't know where he got that information from in the first place. Blows me away. And as for Rita, I just don't know what those purity tests are supposed to be. Like, what purity tests are they talking about? Um, you know, let's face it, the reality is that cancel culture is about making a stand against crazy and stupid conspiracy theories and a whole host of other stuff. But and whether Obama's going to be caught out for what anything he might have said in the past, the man was so careful with his words, he took so long to say them. So I don't know what that's about, but go Rita. Now I must say she's making up shit here. She really is. You got to admit, like what would she know about what Obama's thinking either? Then it's hard to figure out what she's thinking, let alone what Obama's thinking. What I've just okay. I've got to say, uh, when you think of people like David Duke and the KKK, uh, how can you possibly make the assumption that he is the first to push this race rhetoric? He, the race rhetoric circulated around him like a bloody storm, simply because he was black and he was the first African American president. That's where it came from. The race rhetoric comes from these dudes sitting here making judgments on a black person because he had the power and authority that they could only ever dream of. And I reckon to some extent Murdoch must be pissed off about the fact. I guess he was, wasn't he? A white man, a racist perhaps, was pissed off because an American black man became president and had somehow more power than he did. So Murdoch's big effort in life was to destroy that man, which he tried to do through all his media outlets. Sky is, or Fox News, I guess, is an example of all of that. But he has failed. He has failed, and they will fail. And I think, just in concluding, everybody, I am fascinated watching how the United States political system is ripping itself apart. I find it interesting that the so-called greatest nation on this planet is discovering that they're not, and that their sense of exceptionalism and individualism and all the other isms that they have are being destroyed by themselves internally, because they're so divided in so many levels. And it's not just that, it's not just that they're divided on certain issues. It's the amount of people that are involved in the divide. So, you can have different factions who think and act differently than everybody else. But in the case of some of the conspiracy theories and the election being stolen and all that sort of stuff, the divide is incorporating millions and millions of people who believe the crap that Trump talks about. And so as a result of that, you have a divided America, and you have America that's slowly eating itself. And it's kind of fun watching that happen. I know that there are a lot of, and I always do this caveat, I know there are a lot of people in the US who are as concerned as I am and others are about what's happening in their country. I just hope it doesn't happen here. But then when I heard the Corey Bernardis and the Paul Murrays and the Joneses and the Bolts talking about this stuff, I do wonder whether or not their goal is to destroy us. That's what they want. And whether doing so gives them power and authority that they otherwise wouldn't have. And whether it's a way by which they use the media in order to propagate their false beliefs about others. And I think we certainly need a rational media, and we need a media that takes on a different perspective. Part of what I'm doing here is trying to offer a different perspective. So thanks everybody. Thanks for being with me. It's great being with you. And please remember to subscribe and ring the bell. I need to put a little thing up here, but I keep forgetting to do so. And enjoy, and above everything else, be safe.